What is up, everybody? Welcome back. We are here. Took last week off, but we are back now. After NFL Week 9 happened, we had quite the interesting week. Um, Neither of us are exactly on here in the best mood after yet another Dolphins uh, bedwetting situation. But nonetheless, we're here. We got a lot to talk about. And let's just get straight into this. We took last week off, but we are here and we're ready to go. And Ryan, I will just get straight into this really because there's a lot of good games over the weekend. As much as I would like to start with my Dolphins, I'm just not quite ready. But the Bengals and the Bills did play on Sunday night in a game that did have a lot of divisional implications. It lets the Dolphins keep the first place or the first seed in the AFC East because the Bills did lose 28 to I believe it was 16 or 24 to 16. A close game for the most part, but I don't think anyone ever really felt like the Bills were going to come away with that win. Burrow looks to be back. We talked so much about this tough Bengals schedule, but it seems like they're handling it pretty well. Chase had a relatively light game, and my fantasy team thanks you for that because I won because of that. But Higgins played great. Burrow played great. The defense looked really good, and that just leads me to ask you, Ryan, how much of a threat are these Bengals now in the AFC?
I mean, I definitely think they're better than the Bills overall as the team right now. But the thing is, they're still in that hole that they dug themselves in the
Yeah.
beginning. They're 1-3 in conference. They're 0
Yeah, it's
and
crazy that
2 in
this was their
division,
first conference win.
and they're 0 and 2 in division in the hardest
Yeah.
division of football right now. I mean, obviously, we both believe the Steelers are frauds. The Browns are on and off because Deshaun's on and off, but the
Right.
defense is good. But at the end of the day, those teams still have a good record, even though
Yeah, they're still
we
winning.
believe they're
Their
frauds and they won't
schedules are easier.
sustain. So, I mean, they definitely could run the table. I mean, they still have a decent schedule, but I think the main focus of this should be the Bills. They have a rough schedule remaining, and they haven't even played Kansas City or Philly, which we already played and took our L's to.
Right. And, we still have a few tough teams on the schedule, but not. I think ours it's neck and neck. But I would favor
We
ours.
have tough teams, but we don't have the two teams from the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah,
We
and
already are done with those.
we still have like the Tennessees, the Commanders, the
Yeah.
Jets twice. We get to pad a little bit still.
No, but Sam, there's a stretch starting Thanksgiving week. They play at Philly, at Kansas City, and then home against Dallas 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's rough.
And remember, Buffalo's gotten all these home primetime games. Look what happens when they go on the road.
It hasn't been pretty. None of their games though, for the most part, have been pretty. And it's like
They got bailed out against the Giants, no pass interference. The Tampa Bay Bucks almost caught a Hail Mary. There wasn't a flag call, and the guy didn't turn around. They're 2 plays away from being 3-6.
And then when we look at the Bills, right? We've talked about this before. We could have asked, any number of questions. Is it panic time? How worried should we be? Are they going to miss the playoffs? The odds right now, the live odds for them to make the playoffs are minus 120, way lower than I would assume anybody had them at coming into the year. You look at the defensive injuries that are out; those guys aren't coming back, like the Trey Whites of the world. Von Miller has not been the same. He's not been Milano. Von Miller has not been the answer that they needed on the defensive line. Diggs is really the only person on offense getting it going. Davis is on and off.
Kincaid is a diva. If you don't throw him the ball, he starts crying.
And Kincaid is starting to develop, but he's a rookie. He's not where you need him to be yet. He can be good a few years from now, but right now he's not quite what this team needs. And then like Gabe Davis has struggled a little bit. As much as we talk about an improved running game when it mattered most, James Cook and Latavius Murray cannot get it going.
And
Josh Allen is now starting to feel the injuries. He runs so much, and injuries are always such a big concern. Now he's starting to feel it. So there's like so many things that we can really point to when looking at why Buffalo is in this hole. I don't know how it's minus 120, frankly. I mean, every week they have the chance to take the division back because they still, at the end of the day, are only a game behind the Dolphins.
And they have our tiebreaker.
Right, and for now they have the tiebreaker, and they just can't seem to do it. You know what? I don't know.
When this happened last year, the first opportunity they had to jump us, they jumped us, and we never got the division back.
No. And it's like I can't really
putting the week 3 Super Bowl banner of us, having the division for 2 weeks. This year, they haven't gotten it back. They have had multiple opportunities.
And the Jets are hanging in there better than they are, frankly, even after last night's whole debacle.
That was tough to watch. Justin Herbert looked terrible.
He did, and I bet the Chargers, and they won. So at the end of the day, I got my money's worth. But
Stressful way, but
yeah, stressful way. It just really never felt like the Jets offense could do enough to get them in the game. But regardless, I mean, look, I'm worried about the Bills, but as far as the Bengals go, I think they've definitely cemented themselves as the third best team in the AFC right now. I'm ready to put them ahead of the Dolphins, frankly. I mean, I know it's hard for us to admit, but they're beating better teams, they're playing better. Every asset right now, every facet of the game right now, they're doing better than the Dolphins are. Right now,
I
in
mean,
my
I
eyes,
would have them above Kansas City.
it's close, but at the end of the day, Kansas City's defense is really overwhelming teams right now, and it's propelling them to wins. And Kansas City just at the end of the day, they just have a better record. So
Yeah.
I would say right now it's probably Kansas City, Baltimore, and then Cincinnati as my top three. But the Bengals are real. This is a real threat. This is going to be a hot team right now that you're going to bet to win the Super Bowl. I guarantee you that bets are tumbling in right now on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl or make the Super Bowl.
Or at
So we got
least
to keep
make,
our eye on them. And it's
maybe
going to be
win their
interesting.
division. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting down the stretch. All four AFC North teams would be in the playoffs right now. But, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
but
going
they're
to have
all
to wait
going to
and
start
see.
playing each other soon.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how they handle these divisional games and these AFC games down the stretch. But with that being said, the two other teams I just mentioned, the Chiefs and the Dolphins, they competed in Germany this past weekend in a game that we were very emotionally invested in, and yet we were once again let down as the Chiefs win 21-14. And let me remind you, 21 points were not scored by Kansas City's offense. They had a whole Miami's driving down the field to tie the game, and I mean, it's Tyreek of all people. He just gets stripped, and the defense takes it. And then not only do they just recover the fumble, they lateral it backwards mid-play and take it all the way for a touchdown in just heartbreaking fashion. I tell you, I turned the game off. I never turned it back on until the very last drive, where they're again driving to tie the game. And Tua noodle arms the third down on a blatant miscommunication. It wasn't like a bad throw. They totally misread each other. And then fourth down, they just fumble the ball in such a disappointing end. And it's painful, man. It is because the Dolphins are just I don't
Just
want
get
to sit up.
blown out. Don't give the hope, and then
Right, and don't at least they didn't get blown out. But it's like I hate to sit up here every week and act like I have faith just for the next time we play an above 500 team to crumble. I mean, you can't.
the next time we do is Christmas. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving.
They play Christmas. It's
Dallas in
it is
Miami.
Dallas, right? Yeah, that'd be a good game. I'm glad we get the Christmas Day nod. I think the Heat get it too. So I think we're 2 for 2
I
on
think we're
Christmas.
Christmas Eve, but we're one of the.
It's
I
right
think it's
there.
Christmas Eve or
I think
Christmas Day.
yeah, I think the Heat are Christmas Day. So last year we were Christmas Day for the Dolphins, but whatever,
Yeah, when Tua got his second or third concussion.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it just hurts. I don't want to sit up here and say they're a fraud. I believe in this team. I've had hope in this team. We've been talking about the defense so much, so the defense has improved.
They're there.
They
That's
actually
the
look
one
pretty
bright
good.
spot.
Yeah, they look pretty good. They got another turnover. So they're doing good forcing turnovers. And they
And
didn't even
also,
look.
I don't think Jalen Ramsey let more than 2 passes on him, and none of them were more than 5 yards.
And Xavier Howard looked fine because you can put him on your second best receiver and he'll look good. Kader Kohu looked good, and Phillips looked like a beast. So I know the defense is promising. I just hate it. Everything looks so
It's for me the fact that we locked Kelsey down and made him look like a nobody.
horrible. I mean,
still
that
lost.
was a worst day for my fantasy team I could have asked for. But it's like I don't know what to say because we do everything, not everything, right? But we look.
This
so
is the only
improved.
game the defense has been let down by the offense.
Yeah, really, and it's like every time this offense plays a team with a decent defense, they falter, and I don't quite know what to say. I don't really want to come on here and just keep saying we're frauds, but to finally get around to the question, Ryan, who did this say more about? Did this say more about the Chiefs and their ability to just grind out wins, or is this more about the Dolphins'
We lost
ability to
that
beat
game.
the teams?
I don't think Kansas City did enough to beat us. We lost.
I agree.
I mean, Tyreek Hill, just like in the Philly game, crucial drops, stupid plays. He gave them the game winner, basically, when you do the math.
No,
we were driving down the field with 30 seconds. We could have gotten a touchdown or a field goal, and then we got ball out of half. It could have been a tie game, and instead 21-0 going into half.
And you're not gonna fight back from that, right? Like the defense is gonna let up 21 at halftime, so you're gonna put maybe a point on the board.
They didn't allow a single point. That was the crazy part.
Right, and it's like I don't know. Like you knew the
defense did everything right.
Yeah.
Other than the first drive where Mahomes just dotted us.
But that's the first drive, though. It's not uncommon for a team to score on the opening drive
Yeah.
because you have everything scripted. The second they were off script, the defense started to
Yeah, we
hold.
locked down. Kelsey was a nobody. It was.
Pacheco did okay. He got
If you
some
would have
yards
told me
here and
Kelsey
there.
would have 3 catches for under 20 yards total,
I would have told you we won handedly.
we blown him out. You know, but
It is what it is. I mean, where do the Dolphins go from here, right? Like, what can they do? Anything? Is there like we have the teams that we have the opportunity still on our schedule. We have Buffalo again. We have
Baltimore.
we have Baltimore. We have Dallas. We have a few more. I think our remaining games are like Buffalo, Jets
It's all
twice.
at the end of the year in a row.
Yeah, we have Jets twice, Buffalo, Tennessee, Washington,
And the
and
Raiders off the bye.
I think like the Raiders and Dallas. So it's about what 8 games left, and
Yep.
4 or 5 of them are winnable. Like we should end with 11 wins.
Yeah, and the
At the
winnable
very least.
ones are right after this bye week. And then
Yeah,
we have 3 weeks in a row to end the season with just contenders.
and I'm telling you right now, if we drop any of these winnable games, our playoff hopes are immediately in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So you think this game just says more about the Dolphins and their inability to beat good teams?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't impressed by Kansas City. Like,
Me neither. The only thing I'm impressed by is the fact that they can keep grinding out these tough wins.
yeah,
But I mean, what are you gonna do?
I think, like I said, I think the Bengals are hotter than the Chiefs right now.
Oh, I think they're hotter. I think you got to look at the whole season, I guess, overall.
Yeah, I know.
Even though they haven't looked great, they've been
The
consistently.
trending wise,
Yeah, trending wise, Cincinnati's definitely up there. Speaking of the Ravens, that'll be our last topic before we get into our quite a different segment this week. We won't have Ryan's rankings. That'll be back next week. We'll be doing some midseason picks instead. But we talk about the Ravens and they're kind of going under the radar, but they're pretty much dominating a lot of teams right now. I think Lamar's up to now 17-1 against NFC teams because the Seahawks, who had a good defense, just got throttled 37-3. And it's just side note real quick, it is so impressive to me that Lamar and the Ravens going to put up like 35-40 points, and Lamar will end up with 10 points for my fantasy team. I don't know who's scoring these touchdowns, but
Sam, I had Stroud on my bench and Tank Dell on my bench, and I started Lamar and like DJ Moore.
I had Lamar and Zay Flowers. We'll designate maybe a couple minutes to show fantasy teams after this horrible weekend because I don't think anybody had a good fantasy weekend. But oh my gosh,
My bench did.
whatever. I digress. The Ravens just show complete NFC domination. AFC, they still look really good, but
Yeah.
should this be the best team? Like, can we consider them the best team in the NFL? I know I just said that I would put maybe the Chiefs ahead
I
of
mean,
them.
on paper and what they've done, we should. They
there's
blew
no
the
reason.
Lions out and they blew the Seahawks out.
And right, and I guess I can say in the NFC it's different because you're not really preparing for these teams as much. You're looking for the teams in your conference. You're looking for the teams in your division. You see this team once every few years, so it's kind of hard to prepare. And I understand that, and that's valid, but it shouldn't take too much away from what the Ravens are doing because even when Lamar is not looking that great or the receivers aren't looking that great, just the team as a whole is able to put everything together and just shut these people down. I mean, the Lions and the Seahawks are two, just because the NFC is weaker, we can call them NFC contenders, and they're still getting destroyed by the Ravens. So, I mean, we got to watch out for this team. You think they're the best team in the NFL right now?
That's a good question. I mean,
There's only so many teams you could put ahead of them. Maybe
that's what I'm saying.
Eagles.
The Niners fell off that list.
I guess you could say the Eagles, but like,
I'd say they're the best in the AFC at the moment.
yeah, I can agree. I mean, them and the Chiefs would have a really good, close back and forth game because the Ravens obviously aren't really the same against AFC opponents. But I mean, they're tough. They got to at least be like tied. Lamar should probably be the MVP favorite right now, and then I'd say Mahomes second. Jalen Hurts third, but this is gonna be really interesting going down the stretch when the Ravens have to play a few more in division games, and we'll watch health because this is when Lamar starts to falter. He got hurt for a little bit, if I'm not wrong, right? I don't think he played the entire game. I think Huntley had to do a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but did Lamar get hurt this last weekend?
Maybe a little bit, but nothing where he's going to miss.
It wasn't major, but I think I just saw a clip of Huntley in the game
or something.
Yeah. So that's always going to be the concern. But overall, I mean, we got to look at these these Ravens, and start to be worried really as AFC people. We'll see how they get tested down the stretch. But we're talking about favorites, talking about everything. Like I just said, no Ryan's rankings this week. But before the season, I was on this show, and I made picks. At the time, it was a different co-host. Ryan was not here for that, but nonetheless, we're here to make mid-season picks. We've seen 9 weeks now of NFL football. We've seen everybody kind of get played, see who is just no shot at making the playoffs, see who's going to be favorited, see who's on the up and coming. Ryan, I'm just going to ask you, we'll go conference by conference. Give me your 7 teams right now in the AFC, and then we'll move to the NFC after. We'll start in the AFC because that's where all of our personal interests are. Who are the 7 teams right now that you could see making it? You don't have to go in
The
order.
playoffs?
Just the playoffs. You don't have to go in order if you want to just give me 7. But who do you think is going to make it?
Try to go by division and then like my 3 wild cards.
Yeah, give me like your at least just go by division.
So definitely Kansas City's going to win that division. I think Baltimore still because they have enough blanket. I think
they still have a game and a half up, I believe.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough. I think that's the toughest one remaining. Jacksonville's obviously going to win their division as well. I'll do AFC first.
I say obvious, but they are only 2 games ahead of the Texans, who are starting to surge. So
but
who knows?
The Texans, I don't trust yet for
exactly.
that.
We got to see for the whole year.
Like I'm rooting for Stroud in them, but Jacksonville's been there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we can agree on Jacksonville.
So yeah, Kansas City, Baltimore, Jacksonville. I do think the Dolphins make it. I don't know if that'd be division winner or not. Obviously, I'm hoping for that. And then my wildcard teams, I have to put Cincinnati. I can't see them missing.
Yeah, it would be hard. I know they're at 3 losses, and a lot of the other teams are at 4. So, but I don't think they're going to lose.
I could see them doing it. I don't trust Pittsburgh. I don't. So I'm going to have to say Cleveland. I think they'll maybe get a wild card spot. And then
does a team like
between
the Jets,
LA,
Chargers?
Buffalo, and Houston. You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say I'm gonna pick Buffalo to barely make the wild card.
Yeah,
and us as the division winner.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of in tune. The only change that I'll say Kansas City for that division. I'm gonna take Cincinnati over Baltimore. I know they have a game and a half up. I think when Baltimore starts to get into more AFC play,
and they play each other in 2 weeks.
Right, they play each other. They still have some more divisional games to play against each other.
Yeah.
Baltimore's, got Cincinnati.
Well, that division, they're all going to start kind of like the Pac-12. They're all starting to play each other, so some of these teams are naturally going to fall.
Yeah, and there's going to be some other AFC opponents that they got to play. I think Cincinnati's going to catch them. Even though both the schedules are a little difficult down the stretch. I agree with Jacksonville, but it'll be interesting to see what Houston does. And I'll take Miami. And then in the wild card, I'll just reverse it. Baltimore is in the wild card. And then I just don't trust Cleveland's quarterback situation. I know I can say the same thing about Pittsburgh, but I have a hard time seeing neither of those two make it. It really just comes down to schedule. And before we can go through. I'll just list them off here. The Steelers play the Packers, Browns, Bengals, Cardinals, Patriots, Colts, Bengals, Seahawks. So
pretty weak schedule except for the end.
It's fairly weak, just other than the divisional opponents. Theirs would be Steelers, Broncos, Rams, Jaguars, Bears, Texans. Oh, okay, Jets. Okay, so that actually, you know what? I'm going to give the edge to Cleveland because that was a much easier schedule.
And they play each other, is it this week? Yeah, they play each other this week.
Yeah, so that'll be a big game.
Excuse me, next week. I'm sorry.
And I'm going to go out on the limb. I think Buffalo's going to fall off. I don't think they're going to get their footing. And I think
that's my hope.
So. I think CJ Stroud is going to take these guys all the way.
Yeah. I think honorable mention will be Stroud and the Chargers. I don't think the Jets are getting near it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, that defense is really playing good, but Zach Wilson's just not doing quite enough. The Chargers will be an interesting team if they can compete for maybe that last spot. But now I'm going to
Herbert looks terrible, bro.
Right, yeah. I don't know what's up with them. The defense was shaky.
They only won because the Jets can't score points. They would have gotten blown out.
Keenan Allen wasn't doing much. Eckler had one big run and then not much else. So now that you've given me your playoff teams in the AFC, who are you thinking for the AFC Championship game?
If I had to look at it, kind of like
just of the teams that you took,
where I am and like how it would line up, Kansas City, Baltimore. Obviously, I'm going to hope my Dolphins are there, but I can't get ahead of myself.
Who wins that matchup?
Honestly, it depends on who finishes. I got whoever is the 1 seed. I think home field for that game is crucial.
So Kansas City's the 1 seed. We're gonna give it to them because I guess if you want to go in order of what you listed to me,
Yeah,
Kansas City
I
would be one.
guess. Yeah, we'll go Kansas City at the moment, but I honestly think Baltimore has more of a chance. But
For me, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the rematch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take Kansas City versus Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's gonna beat Baltimore in the playoffs to get there. I think that Jacksonville will probably beat Cleveland and Miami will beat somebody, and then I don't know, they'll work it out.
let's
We'll
get a
work it out.
playoff win, man.
It'll play out in a way that I think it's Kansas City versus Cincinnati, and I think Kansas City gets the best of them again. And that takes me down to the NFC now that we've established our AFC. Who are the 7 teams that you can see getting in the NFC?
All right, so I think we both have Philly. We both have San Francisco. Even though they're struggling, let's be real. The NFC's
Yeah.
weak.
Well, let's go division winners first, in case you're about to say the Cowboys.
Okay. So definitely Philly.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the divisions. Okay, so I got Philly in the NFC East. I mean, I do like Dallas, but they're a little bit behind and they don't have tiebreakers.
Right. Yeah.
I think Detroit, even though Minnesota's been doing good,
they are getting sneaky.
They have too big of a lead at this point. NFC South is pretty awful.
I think it feels like it's going to be the Saints, though, one way or another.
I think it's going to be the Saints because Tampa is just like, they're so close.
They're falling off.
They lose. And then Arthur Smith is a criminal. So
Yeah.
I can't.
Fuck that guy.
I can't with that guy.
Just traded for Bijan. Fuck you, Arthur Smith.
I can't with that guy.
And then your wild card is going to be Dallas, I'm guessing, and then
I got
Seattle.
San Francisco and Seattle are tied right now, but they still play each other twice.
Yeah, so I think San Francisco will probably get the best of both of them.
I think San Francisco will eventually pull it out. So those are my 4 division winners.
And then Dallas and Seattle will be 2 of your 3 wild cards, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So then who's your last one?
I think Washington.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because they're sneaky and they don't win a lot of games, but they're winning just enough.
I mean, their quarterback's number 2 in passing yards in the league.
Yeah,
they have a good offense.
It's just the defense is not keeping up.
I mean, it's either going to be Washington or Minnesota, but I do think Minnesota eventually will fall off again. So, but then again, Washington's in the tough division. They're going to start beating each other up, you know.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to mirror your division picks. I'm tempted just for the sake of disagreeing with you, to take Seattle over San Francisco. But I'm going to leave it for now. I think San Francisco is going to get their footing. And I think the defensive additions that they made are going to they're going to help. So Philly, San Francisco, Detroit, New Orleans. My wild card, Dallas and Seattle. There's really not much to disagree on, except I'm going to take Minnesota over Washington to get that last spot, especially if Dobbs can play decent in place of the injury. They'll get Justin Jefferson back. Jordan Addison had a coming out party recently. Hawkinson is still a very good tight end. So they've got pieces there.
Yeah.
Run game is a bit hurt, but I think they'll live. And then in the NFC Championship game, who are you taking there?
Philly, Dallas. NFC East divisional conference championship.
And then who do you have winning that? Philly or Dallas?
Dallas. I can't root for Philly, and I think Dallas, they're just like, they're so close, every time. They're like us. They're so close.
For me, I think I'm just looking at the way I have it seeded. Because I want to take San Francisco, so that would mean that they would beat Minnesota.
I can't trust Purdy right now.
I know, I can't either, but I think I trust him to at least beat these. I trust him to beat Josh Dobbs, frankly. I just trust the surrounding roster at home to beat Josh Dobbs. So I feel like San Francisco would beat Minnesota. Detroit would probably beat Seattle, and then Dallas beats New Orleans. So it's like then it's Philly versus Dallas. I'm gonna go Dallas versus San Francisco, and then San Francisco wins that. So for our Super Bowls, you would have KC versus Dallas, and I would have KC versus SF in the rematch from 2019. And who are you taking, Kansas City or Dallas?
Kansas City. But I don't think Kansas City wins a ring this year, but out of those two.
But just from the picks that we're making right
just
now.
From those sheer picks, I got Kansas City.
I agree. I like San Francisco's roster a lot. Actually, you know what? Teams don't go back-to-back in this league. San
No,
Francisco over Kansas City. Purdy cements himself as a quarterback of all time, and the Niners play for a
a
ring this
quarterback.
year. A quarterback of all time.
A quarterback.
He's certainly one of the quarterbacks of all
He's
time.
one of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
But that'll do it for our midseason picks. We'll reevaluate these come playoff time when we do our own little brackets and stuff. But that'll all be taken care of down the road. For now, we'll get back to our pick'em. I just want to talk a little bit about Eagles Cowboys before we do that, because I just want to quickly see your opinion, because I know that game was back and forth. Frankly, it was pretty close. And in Philly, to lose a close game, is nothing to worry about, especially the way that they had it going. After this, do you think that Philly kind of cemented themselves as the team to beat in the NFC for now?
Yeah, just by default.
Right.
Philly, they barely get away from every game. And once that tush push is banned next year, that offense is
It is.
nowhere near
I
as
do think
productive.
it's going to get banned. I agree.
It's every single drive, but it's every single drive they're doing it because they can't convert on third downs.
Even if it's third, though, the second they get to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, they're doing it. So.
It will be banned because 31 owners are going to vote yes and one's going to vote no. So
I agree. I mean, I kind of agree with the premise overall. Just by default, they have to be the best. Lions and Seahawks, we just saw get throttled. The Eagles have only lost one
Lions
game.
look like us when they play a good team. And
and
Seahawks,
the Eagles,
same thing.
They've lost one close game, and Hurts hasn't looked amazing, but he hasn't looked bad. AJ Brown is phenomenal. He looks like he could be in the MVP conversation at this point. Goddard and Smith, the receivers look good. The O-line, everything just looks good. Maybe
How
nothing
did the
looks
Jets
great.
beat the Eagles?
I know, right? Because Hurts had 3 picks.
Still, Hurts could have had 5. Like,
But
the Jets wouldn't have been able to win with 5 Herbert interceptions last
when we talk about like what are the Eagles have to worry about? They have to worry about that pass defense because it's so bad that it makes Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson look like a dynamic Wilson duo. And they lost. They lost because of it. And Dallas just torched them. Dak had 374. So teams are going up and down the field on them through the running game. But the defensive line is amazing. They have to get that figured out.
Yeah.
Because come playoff time, they rematch Dallas. You play San Francisco with Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, all those guys. You play the team. You play even at Seattle, man, with Metcalf and Lockett, and if Smith and Jigba comes around, like you play these games with good weapons on the outside. It's gonna be worrisome. But for now, I do agree that the default team to beat in the NFC going forward. With that said, guys, we're all sorry for not being here last week, but just took a week off. Picked the right time to do it because it's getting important down the stretch. So we'll just
this
quickly
upcoming
recap.
week, the Dolphins are gone, and it might be the worst slate of the year.
Yeah, it's a rough slate, but we'll recap Week 8 real quick. I know it was so long ago, but just to give you guys an update on how our little season-long competition is going, we'll go back very briefly. Bills and Bucks, we both picked Bills. That pick was correct. Cowboys over Rams, we both took the Cowboys. That was right. Vikings over Packers, I took the Vikings. Ryan took the Packers.
That's
so I
a
won that
terrible
one.
mistake.
Titans over Falcons. Ryan makes it right back. He takes the Titans. I take the Falcons. Colts over Saints. We were both wrong. Dolphins over Patriots. We were both right there. Jets over the Giants. We were both right there in one of the worst games the NFL has ever seen offense-wise.
Yeah, that was rough.
Jags Steelers. We were both right with the Jags. Eagles Commanders. It was close. That went down. That was
a really good game, actually.
Yeah, Sam Howell was phenomenal. But the Eagles did end up winning. We were both right there. The Texans lost to the Panthers in a Hall of Fame worthy mid-off. For the Panthers,
Stroud didn't look like he did last week.
No, definitely not. The Seahawks narrowly beat the Browns. And we were both right there. The Chiefs. No, this was the week where the Chiefs got their butt kicked by the Broncos, and we missed on that one pretty badly. The Ravens, they did beat the Cardinals in what was a weirdly close game, but I guess Josh Dobbs kind of made every game close.
Every single game was close.
The 49ers lost to the Bengals because Purdy was doing Purdy things. Chargers beat the Bears in a game that was just not fun to watch as a night game overall. And the Lions took down the Raiders in a Josh McDaniels Hall of Fame classic. And at the end of the day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games later, I guess we had the whole league playing. It must have been. But Ryan, you went 11 of 16, and I went 11 of 16. So we ended on a tie. And then if we look at your locks, Josh Allen did throw a pick. Tyreek Hill, did Tyreek go over 100 yards? I don't think Tyreek went over 100 yards, if I'm not wrong, but Waddle did. This was the Waddle.
No. They both had over
No,
100.
Tyreek did. Yeah, he had 112. So that was a good one. And then Mostert did cash a touchdown, so you did great on that one. 3 for 3 on locks is crazy. Your bonus was CJ Stroud over a touchdown and a half. This game, I don't think
They
that
didn't
one
have a
hurt.
single touchdown, I don't think, in the whole game, either team.
Yeah, so that one wasn't pretty. And then Rams plus 6.5 was not pretty either. So you missed on the bonus, but you hit on your initial locks. For me, I had Adam Thielen over 6.5 receptions in that mid-off. He had 8, so that one
That's
hit.
crazy. He had 8 and no one scored.
8 for 72, no touchdowns. Russ over 0.5 interceptions did not hit, shockingly.
Yeah, he was cooking.
Yeah,
should have bet Mahomes over 0.5 on
yeah,
that one.
should take Mahomes every game. But he did not cook this time, or he did cook this time. And Kelsey did not get that touchdown that I was looking for. Bijan, I think Bijan did at the end of the day actually get a touchdown, but it's just that was like all he did. He just got the touchdown and dipped. If I'm not mistaken, I can't find that foul. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me check on Bijan. Yeah, Bijan did get in the end zone. He actually got touches for once, and Arthur Smith saw that and said, no more. Chiefs defense did not get 2 turnovers, so a rough day on the locks for me. But with that being said, let's move to Week 10. Crazy that we're already in double digits here. It's crazy how far we are in college too. So stay tuned tomorrow, guys, because we will be back with some new college vids for you. But let's look at this Week 10 slate. I will pull it up for everybody momentarily. Ryan, you just kind of alluded to it. It's just like not a good week at all.
The prime times are.
Yeah, Panthers and Bears. I mean, I don't know who does the scheduling coming into the year.
And they didn't flex any of these games. They had the opportunity, but
nothing got flexed.
They're saving the flexes.
Yeah, it's really just poor schedule management by the NFL, but I digress. Ryan, let's just get started. Panthers and Bears. Who do you have here?
Panthers. Even though the Bears are favored, I can't bet on the.
I don't know if Fields is Fields playing.
No, I think they're playing that bum.
Yeah, I'll take the Panthers too. Then even in Chicago. Actually, no. This is one of the games where we should disagree. I'll go Bears. When this is just a mid off like that. Colts, Patriots. I'll take the Colts. Ryan, who do you have? I got
Colts. In no way I'm betting on the Patriots.
Yeah, no thanks.
Either way, they're done. So
Texans, Bengals, and Cincinnati. Texans. Yeah, I didn't want to be the one to say it. You took it, so I'll disagree because I want to root for the Texans, but in all likelihood, I think the Bengals will win. So
yeah. But I'll root for the Texans. I'll just keep it interesting. Here.
Saints, Vikings in a battle for could be a wild card spot, could be a division spot. Just yet another mid off in the NFC.
Yeah, I got the Vikings.
I'll take the Saints. A lot of pick'em games here, so I don't mind.
A lot of and the money lines this week are very within like 5.
I'm sure bettors will have a field day. Steelers, Packers in Pittsburgh. I'll go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't trust the Packers. They've looked horrendous.
Yeah, Jordan Love really needs to pick it up or he'll probably be out of a job. Titans, Bucks. Titans have not won a game on the road this year.
I got Bucks.
I'll take the Titans. I think Will Levis is bringing a new
he is, but
he's
the
actually
Bucks
not
are
that
so
bad.
close to beating Stroud, and their offense was finally clicking. I think maybe they, look at the over-under on that game, Sam. 38.
Yeah, 38. That's brutal. We kind of shit on Will Levis, honestly, coming into the year and into the draft. And I think in the brief stint we've seen him play, yeah, he looks pretty good. So
he got named the official starter today over Tannehill.
Yeah, he got named the starter. D-Hop is still there. Henry is still there. Good coach in Vrabel, good defense. So why not? I think the Titans got it. 49ers and Jaguars, and this is honestly saving the week. This is probably the only good
I got
game
the
we have this
Niners, and
week.
I'm gonna be rooting for the Niners.
I don't know how this game isn't prime time. I'm going to take the Jags, but I'm rooting for the 49ers. I think Purdy's going to continue to slip.
Me too, but I'm
Plus,
hoping the
it's in
defense can
Jacksonville.
carry.
Browns, Ravens, and what could also be a good game. There's a few decent games hidden in here. But
Due to Deshaun Watson being in and out every week, I take Baltimore.
yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens too, but these division
They've been
games
blowing
are
out good teams. So
Falcons, Cardinals.
Kyler's back. Give me the Cardinals. Dude, the Falcons just lost to Josh Dobbs, who didn't know the playbook.
Yeah.
So
fuck the Falcons. I'm taking the Cardinals too. Fuck you, Arthur Smith. Lions, Chargers could be a decent game, but probably not the way Herbert's
let's go
looking.
Lions, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions too, just for the an AFC team losing.
Absolutely. Especially
Giants,
her bust.
Cowboys. I'm just gonna skip it. We both know what we're saying.
Dude,
Tommy
DeVito
DeVito.
win? Nah, just kidding.
Yeah, DeVito upset victory after having like -7
Dude,
yards.
DeVito, dude, it's got to be like a plus like 1,000 to bet on the Giants.
Minus 16.5. I mean, that is just so crazy.
It's like
Cowboys,
a college line.
or Commanders Seahawks. Commanders Seahawks could be an okay game, honestly, with the way the offense is playing for the Commanders.
Just
but
to
I'm gonna
disagree, I'll take Washington.
Yeah, I'll go Seahawks. Washington's gonna be an interesting team. I'll probably
So many
start.
of these games are like toss-ups, though.
My only not complaint. My only issue with the game is that the Seahawks do have like an elite level secondary to go against like the weapons on the Commanders, and the run game for them hasn't quite picked up as much. It's been a lot of passing, so that's what kind of leaning me towards
Brian Robinson.
Jets and the Raiders. I don't know who of these two teams I want to root
for. The Raiders they're in Vegas and
good
with the new
home.
coach and everything. They all seem,
bought in. I'll take the Raiders, honestly. Jets are favored to win. That'll be a good money
Jets
line.
Jets were favored against the Chargers, were they not?
No, I don't. It was narrow, but the Chargers were favored.
I mean, over under 35 for the primetime game is crazy.
It's insane. Buffalo Broncos to cap off the week. I'm gonna take the upset. I think the Broncos. The Bills look so bad right now. I know
I'll
it's
take the Broncos
Buffalo.
as well. Let's bring the good juju to Denver. And they had a bye week after beating Kansas City, so they're coming in fresh.
Yeah, we got 4 teams off this week: Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens, Rams. Ryan, let's lock in some locks for the week before we get going here. Give me like 3 locks, and then we'll do our bonuses after.
Yeah, usually I do player props, but with the amount of trash games this week, I'll do the under on the Jets and Raiders.
So under 35 points. Oh my gosh.
I'll do the under on that. I will do Baltimore -6, and
I'm surprised it's 6 in a divisional game.
Let's see. I'll do CeeDee Lamb over 100 yards.
If he's even playing by the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He needs to get him early. Like, he needs like an 80-yard touchdown to like stat pad that for me.
For my locks, I'm gonna go Raiders money line. I feel really good about them against the Jets. Defense for the Raiders, honestly, not that bad. And then now, the new quarterback O'Connell he's playing. He's getting, acclimated to stuff and whatnot. Devontae's, he seems in a better mood. Jacobs is coming along. New coach, like we said. Raiders money line against the Jets, who I'm rooting against anyways. Just feels appropriate. I'll go. I'm gonna go Brock Purdy over 0.5 interceptions.
I like it.
And then I'll
add Josh Allen over 0.5 as a bonus.
I'll give that to you for a lock. I mean, your bonus. For my last lock, let's see. What do we got like up here, maybe?
Dude, the games are so trash, bro.
This is a tough one. I'm going to do the Cowboys thing that I did the last time. I'll do the Cowboys defense over 1.5 turnovers. This is in Dallas. With this defensive line, they're going to feast on this.
I think they can get a touchdown.
They're going to feast on Danny DeVito. And then for our bonus, give me one more bonus because you gave me the Josh Allen one. If you have one, you don't even have to give me one, but if you have one that you want to throw out there, I want more bonus to throw down.
Heineke over 0.5 interceptions.
A lot of interceptions this weekend. And then for my 2 bonuses, I'll go CJ Stroud under 0.5 interceptions. He's only thrown 1 on the year. I know he's bound to throw some more eventually, but I don't think that'll be this week. And then I will go Kenny Pickett under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah. Or what about 1.5 touchdowns total for Pittsburgh?
And that'll do it for our pick'em this week, and just really for our overall episode this week. You know, we're just glad to be back. We've got a lot of good NFL left to go, not counting this weekend slate. But stay tuned tomorrow. We got a big video coming for a college, totally new format. We're really just focusing, honestly, on the CFP, the playoffs, and we're just focused on the rest of the season. So not as much individual game recap anymore. Just a lot of speculation, really, and back and forth. Kind of the outlook. Stay tuned for a big special that we have coming, and then Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully, we get some live content when all three of us, me, Ryan, and Michael, who's not here right now, obviously, we'll all be together in Gainesville for the Florida State Seminoles versus Florida Gators game. So just stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming. As always, like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and comment what you want to see more of. We're trying to expand to you. Might have something coming for UFC 295. So we're definitely going to keep trying to expand and going forward. Ryan, is there anything you want to add before I wrap this up?
That was pretty much it. Looks to be a depressing week, NFL. Hopefully some of these games are entertaining. But we're still first in the AFC East.
Still first in the AFC East. The Miami Heat are not to be talked about because they do not deserve it right now. But basketball's underway. I'll try and get you guys some stuff on that too. Overall, see you guys soon. Until next time.